This is Iran, one of the world's oldest civilizations. For about the last 500 years, Iran has existed on the world map with these borders. And there is hardly a superpower in the world that has not clashed with Iran, whether it be the Romans, the Arabs, the Mongols, the Turks, the Russians, or the British. Every superpower has tried to conquer Iran. A major reason for this is that Iran is at the crossroads of the world. It is the one country that connects Europe, Africa, and Asia. Today's Iran shares borders with 7 countries. On the eastern side with Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Turkmenistan, and on the western side with Iraq, Turkey, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. Additionally, Iran has access to 3 seas. To its north are the Caspian Sea, and along with it the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. On Iran's southern side is the world's most important and dangerous point, known as the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's oil and gas supply passes through this point. Near the Strait of Hormuz are these 7 islands, which have been under Iranian control since 1970. Although before this, they were under UAE control. Similarly, in the Caspian Sea, there is a Shura Day island under Iranian control. For the past 40 years, Iran has been a headache for the Western world. But what is the reason that despite having powerful armies and economies, no Western country has been able to successfully attack and occupy Iran? All countries know that a direct attack on Iran could greatly backfire. Iran's geography plays a significant role in making it unconquerable. Indeed, today's video will explore how Iran's history, geography, and proxy wars have made it so powerful. Let's first understand Iran's geography. On Iran's southern and western sides is the Zagros mountain range. This mountain range, stretching from Iran's coastline to Iraq and up to Turkey, provides Iran with formidable natural protection. This entire area is very rugged and difficult to cross. The mountains have been so advantageous to Iran that in 1980, when Iraq attacked Iran, its plan was to first capture the oil-rich province of Khuzestan here, and then from there to capture other cities in Iran and crush the Iranian Revolution. Because all Arab countries were afraid that the effects of the Iranian Revolution might spread to other Arab countries. However, the Iraqi armies could only reach Khuzestan in 2 years. They tried hard to cross the Zagros Mountains to capture Iran, but they were not successful, and eventually Iran pushed back the Iraqi forces inside Iraq. But here Iran also faced the problem that while the Iraqi army was easily supplied from its cities, it became very difficult for the Iranian army to be supplied, because all of Iran's major depots and cities were on the other side of the Zagros mountain range. This is why the war ended after 8 years without any result, and not an inch of the border between the 2 countries changed. Similarly, on Iran's northern side is the Alborz mountain range along the Caspian Sea, which provides it protection from the north. And these mountains not only provide natural protection, but also a lot of resources. Both mountain ranges are rich in uranium, silver, gold, and zinc. Iran has the world's largest zinc reserves. Similarly, the 20th century added 4 moons to this geography of Iran, when very large reserves of oil and gas were discovered near the Persian Gulf. As of today's date, Iran has 10% of the world's oil and 15% of natural gas reserves. Another thing that provides Iran protection is its 2,500-kilometer-long coastline, which divides between 2 seas. Bandar Abbas, Iran's largest seaport, is a major choke point in the world. The Strait of Hormuz is just 70 kilometers away, and this point is also Iran's biggest geopolitical leverage today. If Iran were to block this point through its navy, it would collapse the world's economy, because 15% of the world's energy supply passes through here to Asia and Europe. Now suppose someone conquers this coastline and these 2 mountain ranges and enters Iran. Then here the second biggest barrier is the Dashti Lut and Kavir deserts. The Lut Desert is called the hottest place on Earth, because a temperature of 70 degrees Celsius was recorded here in 2005. Due to this tough and abnormal geography, conquering Iran has been almost impossible. But what makes Iran so significant today is its geopolitical strategy. First, if we look at Iran's demographics, its population is approximately 90 million, among which 95% are Shia Muslims, 62% of people in Iran are Persian, 16% Azerbaijani, 10% Kurd, and the remaining 12% are Balakh, Lur, Arab, and Turkic. Before the 1989 Shia Revolution, Iran was a liberal country and was also a very strong ally of America in this region. Even at that time, America used to supply military jets to Iran. But then everything changed when Imam Khomeini came. You would be surprised to know that before 1989, Iran and Israel had very good relations. In fact, Iran was the second largest Muslim majority country to accept Israel in 1948. But Imam Khomeini immediately raised his voice in support of the Palestinians and declared that from now on, Israel is Iran's #1 enemy. Tehran ended all diplomatic ties with Israel. All flights to Israel were canceled, and the Israeli embassy in Tehran was converted into the Palestinian embassy. The first consequence of this was that along with Israel, Iran's relations with America also started to deteriorate. But this deterioration was not only limited to Israel and America. Rather, all the Arab states surrounding Iran also became alert after the Shia Revolution. They were all more afraid that Iran's ideology might reach the Arab states, and as a result, their kingdoms could suffer significant damage. Because all these Arab states were monarchies. In 1980, all these Arab states collectively backed Saddam Hussein to attack Iran. Here, Iran also realized that if it has to survive, it has to spread its ideology to other countries outside. Because between it and its biggest enemy, Israel, are all these Arab countries, which are strongly against it. Therefore, it must do something that despite being far from Israel, it can threaten it. And here Iran started, supporting all those groups who were anti-Israel or anti-Zionist, like Hamas in Palestine, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Fatimiyun Brigade in Syria, al-Badr in Iraq, and Houthis in Yemen. This entire network is called the Axis of Resistance. And through this network, Iran puts pressure on Israel and even Arab countries that they think 1,000 times before taking any step against Iran. Therefore, when Israel started bombing Gaza, then here from Lebanon, Hezbollah fired missiles at Israel. And here the Yemeni Houthis targeted Israeli and American ships passing through the Red Sea with drones. Iran's proxy warfare strategy has made it quite dangerous. Now that we are talking about warfare strategy, it is very important to mention Iran's drone technology. In January 2024, when the Houthis were continuously attacking the gantries passing here with drones, then France used a $1 million Aster 15 surface-to-air missile to shoot down a Yemeni Shahed drone, while the cost of a Yemeni drone is only $20,000. Yemeni Houthis are being supplied all these drones by Iran, and these drones are so famous that Russia is also using these Iranian drones against Ukraine, according to the 2022 report of the American Central Command. Iran has the most and most modern ballistic missiles in the entire Middle East. All of Iran's missiles can hit their target up to 2,000 kilometers away. So if we look at Iran's geography, its proxy strategy, and drone technology, despite the Western world's sanctions on Iran, and its economy being officially very battered, Iran emerges as a country with a lot of uncertainties about its potential. Whether it's its nuclear program, funding for proxy networks, or missile technology, there are many gray areas about Iran, which is why Western countries hesitate to directly attack it. If we just look at this one point at the world's two choke points, the Strait of Hormuz and Bab el-Mandeb are within Iran's target range, then this alone gives it a lot of powerful leverage. And now even Russia and China are unofficially backing Iran. Just recently, when Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated in Iran, there have also been several unconfirmed reports that Russian intelligence and military generals have met with Iranian officials and assured them that if they retaliate against Israel, they will fully support Iran. Currently, after the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, many questions are being raised about Iran's internal security, And apparently it seems like there is some internal disturbance. How and when Iran will retaliate, and whether Iran has the capacity to withstand a counterattack from Israel and America. Only time will tell. These are all the sources from which we have consulted for this video. See you in the next video with another interesting topic.